Welcome back, I'm Mrs. Burns, and today we are talking about section 3.3 in your Math 8 textbook, and this relates back a little bit to section 3.1 with square numbers and square roots. However, today we are going to estimate the square roots. So what happens when you have a square root of a number that isn't necessarily, that number isn't a square number? So let's review for a second here, because this might be out of your head a little bit with the Pythagorean lesson. So what is the square of 5? So that's just asking us what is 5 squared. It's the same thing, just worded a little bit differently. And when we see that 5 squared, that means that I want to know what is 5 times 5. So 5 times 5, we know, is 25. So 5 squared, or the square of 5, is 25. What is the square root of 81? So when we want to know the square root, I'm asking what is the square root, like that. That's the symbol, the little check mark with the line on top. That's the symbol of the square root, and that is asking what what number times itself equals 81. So we know that 9 times 9 equals 81. So 9 is the square root of 81. So what happens then if your calculator is broken and you can't just plug that in? Well, we can estimate the square root. Draw a number line, step 1, and write the square roots that you know around the unknown square root. So if I'm asking you, for example, down here, what is the square root of 7? We don't know that. That's hard. What if the calculator's broken? We're going to put it on a number line next to things that we already know. Then we're going to solve the numbers, so what is the answer of the ones that we know, and then we can make an estimation for the unknown number based on where it falls along that number line. Now, a really big tip, I've put it in bold because it's important, is to memorize common perfect squares and square roots. And by common, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those ones will pop up all the time in grade 8 and 9. So if you memorize those common squares and square roots, then you will be set. So what is the square root of 7 then? Let's get down to it. We don't know. That's hard. What we do know, however, are the square roots of numbers like square root of 1. That's just 1. We know the square root, well, let's draw in the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we know the square root of 1 is 1. 2 squared would give us the square root of 4. 3 squared would give us the square root of 9. 4 squared would give us the square root of 16. 5 squared, same as square root of 25. Okay, so, square root of 7. Well, we can see on here that 7 is kind of between 9 and 4, but it's a little bit closer to the 9 because 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I would say that the square root of 7 is probably just about there-ish. And if that's just about there, then between the 2 and the 3, if this is 2.5 right here, maybe this is at like 2.6. I don't know, that little squiggly means approximately 2.6 or approximately 2.7. So I'm going to guess approximately 2.6. So if we plug this into our calculator, the square root of 7 is exactly 2.64. Whoa, that's pretty close to our guess. Good one. Okay, let's try it with a word example. While shopping, Sarah finds a square rug with an area of 11 meters squared. So here's a square rug. The area is 11 meters squared. She needs to know if that's going to fit in her room that's 4 meters by 5 meters. Estimate the side length of the rug. Will it fit? So no calculator here. Let's estimate the side length. Well, we know that area equals length squared, so length equals the square root of the area. In this case, the area is 11 meters squared. We don't know 11. That's not an easy one, so let's make a number line. Ooh, that's kind of a squiggly number line. Hopefully yours is straighter. And what are some of the ones we know? We know square root of 9, and we know square root of 16. Those are on either side of 11. Square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 16 is 4. So where would 11 fit in on this number line? It's going to be kind of closer to the 9-ish, maybe even over a little bit more. So what number do you think that could be? Maybe approximately 3.3-ish? Well, that's a good guess. Let's say the length is about 3.3 meters. So there's our answer. Now, if we wanted to actually calculate the answer, we could plug in the square root of 11 on our calculator. So I'm going to put 11 and then do the square root sign, and I get 3.316. That's pretty good. So if we check, the square root of 11 is actually 3.32 meters. Wow, that's amazing. Yes, the rug will fit. So we should say that as well. Yes, the rug will fit, because their room is 4 meters by 5 meters, so that's bigger than 3.3 meters. So the rug will fit. Amazing. Well, now you know how to estimate square roots if you don't have a calculator on you or it's broken. So please come to class prepared tomorrow to practice this a little bit more.